everyone, I am here with a true story from Where Miracles Happen, True Stories of Heavenly Encounters, a book my friend let me borrow. And this story is called A White Rose with Dew. And each story either starts with a Bible quote or a quote that somebody's made up or something. And this one is by Henry Frederick Amel, Journal, September 21st, 1868. Thus, after a season of tears, a sober and softened joy may return to us. A White Rose with Dew. 3-year-old Ryan James Griffin, the youngest of 5 children, lost his life when, despite his fear of water, he was found in the family swimming pool and died 5 days later. His parents, Teresa and Ray, were inconsolable. "I could barely function," Teresa says. "I felt literally crazed with grief." Why had her little son been near the pool? How had he fallen in? No one knew. Perhaps the only thing that kept Teresa from deteriorating completely was her pregnancy. She was 6 months along, carrying a son already named Michael. One child can never replace another. But Teresa knew she had to stay healthy for the sake of her unborn baby. During the days following the funeral, Teresa worried that her bond with Ryan had been broken completely. Where was he now? He was so small. Was he safe? Happy? The questions tore at her. On Father's Day weekend, as she and Ray drove to the seashore for a brief getaway, Teresa was suffering intensely. "Oh, Ryan," she whispered in the car, "can you give me a sign that you are near me?" Suddenly into her mind came the words, "A white rose with dew." A white rose with dew. What did it mean? Was it a message from Ryan? No, she must be imagining things. She was so raw with grief, so desperate to make a connection again, however fleeting, but Ryan was gone. Later that afternoon, Teresa took a magazine down to the beach to read. She opened it at random to a 2-page ad for makeup and moisturizer, and her heart skipped a beat. In the center of the ad was a huge white rose with dew on it. Surely it was just a coincidence. But later that day, Ray, who knew nothing about Teresa's wish, came through the apartment door carrying a white rose. "Here," he held it out to his wife. "What's this for?" she asked in wonder. "I don't know," Ray shrugged. "I saw it growing outside and I thought I should pick it for you." Hanging from one little petal was a drop of dew. There was much grieving still ahead, months, even years of difficulty, but Teresa was heartened from the day on by the idea that she could indeed communicate with her little boy, even if it wasn't in the same way as before. "Now, just when I need it most, a card with a white rose will arrive in the mail," she says, "or I'll whisper to Ryan to help me with his older brother and things somehow straighten out." However, a year passed, then 2, and Teresa was no nearer to solving the mystery. How and why did the drowning occur? She felt certain she would not heal until she knew, and she often asked God to help her find the answer. One morning, Michael, then 2.5, came to Teresa. "Mom," he said unexpectedly, "let's talk about Ryan." Since Michael had been born after Ryan's death, he had been told that his big brother was in heaven, but nothing more. Now he sat on the couch with Teresa and in the direct way of children got right to the point. I tried to put Ryan's soul back in his body, Mom, but I couldn't, he said. What are you talking about, Michael? Teresa asked, mystified. She had never heard her toddler use the word soul. He was running and fell and banged his head, and then he went glug glug, the little boy said. Teresa's heart began to pound. And then what, Michael? Then the light came down like a flashlight. Did the light say anything? Tears were pricking her eyes. The light said, I love you, Ryan. Michael had finished his revelation. He got off the couch and went searching for his dump truck. But Teresa was awestruck. Michael hadn't even been born at the time and had known nothing of the circumstances surrounding Ryan's death, and yet his description fit. If Ryan had indeed hit his head and fallen, it was the explanation she needed. How had Michael known? But she sensed the answer to that too. Somehow her children's souls had met, one on his way to earth, the other to heaven. Later, Teresa remembered that after the funeral, the parents of one of Ryan's little playmates had told her of a similar occurrence. Their 3-year-old son had insisted that Ryan come to play with him in his room the previous night. Ryan said he hit his head and fell in the pool, the little boy had told his parents, but no one had listened very seriously to him. There are many things about earthly life that we don't understand, Teresa says today, but I think we should stay open to what God is doing and have faith. And she has faith that she will see Ryan again. He is, she says, only a heartbeat away.